So, right now, there's a threat once again towards the Capitol building. A militia group aims, or at least intelligence, are warning that a militia group is aiming to blow up the Capitol building as Biden addresses the joint Congress. And so the threats keep coming in, death threats from these hate groups and militia groups. And this is by Anai Maggie, Anai McGee. And there are other articles as well where they wanted to cancel a meeting in particular of sorts. And so they want to kill as many members as possible. Militia groups linked to the January 6 riots want to blow up the Capitol building and kill as many members as possible on the day that President Joe Biden addresses Congress. And so during a House hearing on Thursday regarding the January 6th insurrection, Yogananda Pittman, acting chief of the U.S. Capitol Police, told lawmakers about threats about this militia group threatening violence when Biden delivers this State of the Union address. And so we know that the members of militia groups that were present on January 6th, many members as possible with they have on January 6th have stated their desires that they want to blow up the Capitol and kill as many members as possible with a direct nexus to the State of the Union. And so, which we know that the date has not been identified, Pittman said before the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Legislative Branch. And so we know that the insurrection that attacked the Capitol weren't only interested in attacking members of Congress and officers, but they wanted to send a symbolic message to the nation as to who was in charge of that legislative process, she added. And so this is the acting Capitol Police chief that's warning of these threats coming in. And so during the hearing, Pittman and Timothy Blodgett, an acting House Sergeant at Arms, were grilled about security failures during the deadly Capitol riots last month. And so previously reported federal officials estimate roughly 800 people poured into the building. Among them was a mix of behaviors that included people dressed like militia or dressed as military battle gear, people moving information, people committing reckless vandalism, and people simply going with the flow of the crowd into the building. So National Guard troops have remained in Washington since order was restored. And so during the hearing on Thursday, Pittman was vague about when the troops would be sent back to their home states. And so we have no intention of keeping National Guard soldiers or fencing any longer than what is actually needed. So we're actively working with a scaled down approach so that we can make sure that we address three primary variables, Pittman has said. And so this is how it's looking. It's fenced in because of the insurrection of what had happened January the 6th. So one of the known threats to the environment is two is the infrastructure vulnerabilities, and then third variable is being the limitation of the U.S. Capitol Police knows that it has as it relates to human capital and technology resources, she added as well. So temporary infrastructure is only to address the vulnerabilities after the attack of January 6th. So our priority is to make sure that the members of Congress are safe and the democratic process is protected. So once we have an appropriate infrastructure and human assets in place, we will lean forward with the removal of the fencing as well, she said. So earlier this month, in a statement on CNN, the Department of Homeland Security officials are not currently tracking any credible or specific threats of violence targeting Washington, D.C. and lawmakers. So the most significant terrorism-related threat currently facing the nation comes from alone offenders and small groups of individuals inspired by domestic extremist ideology beliefs, including those based on false narratives spread over social media and other online platforms, the spokesperson has added. And so that's pretty much the article. It's not really that long, but this is how it's looking after the incident had happened. They should have did that too little too late. They should have did that before the insurrection. Um, when they were warning, people were boarding up places and everything, warning that there could be some election violence. And so, there were hints weeks prior before all of that. And what's crazy is that they're having hearings right now on this whole incident. They're going through, weeding through photos, videos, and trying to, I guess, locate different people who were involved. There was, like they say, 800 or more people involved, and so they're trying to pinpoint who was, vandalizing, from small scale vandalism on up to, serious damage, and so this is what they're doing. So they're looking through all of that, and they're having hearings, and from, minor to extreme serious vandalism and maybe even worse than just vandalism. It's not just damaging, property, but also injuring officers and killing, maybe possibly putting people's lives at risk and worse. So I just feel like if it was, it wasn't just a whole lot of, I know there were some black people there, but I feel like there were more white people than there were black people that were there, and most of the ones that looked like they were doing a lot of more of the damage looked like it was white people. And they're from these militia groups and whatnot, some of the hate groups and the extreme groups and on down the list. And then there were some black people that were there who had views about being Republican and being, proactive and being Trump supporters. But I feel like the majority that we saw and the ones that were more eager and more assertive, more aggressive, more violent to get in and to bust the windows and do most of the damage seemed like there were a large number of white individuals who hold some strong beliefs. There were some security guards that were black that said that they were called nigger. They were called some real harsh words. They were threatened. Their lives were threatened. Also, I don't think that if it had been more black people, if it had been like a sea of black people, I think we wouldn't really be having hearings. We wouldn't be going through all of this. There would probably be a lot more killings of black people who were trying to break into the Capitol, and they would have had hearings more about justifying why they killed. It wouldn't be like it is now, where they're going through with a fine-tooth comb and trying to justify who did what and all of this. It would have just been straight out like bloodshed, I feel. That's my opinion. You can take it or leave it. I just think if it was more, if you had seen a sea of black people trying to bust into the Capitol building, I don't even think they would have made it there. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't have even gotten a chance to get inside. They would have been, slaughtered. It would have been a whole other story altogether. I really do believe that. And the accountability would have been a lot more severe. The punishment would have been a lot more severe. So this to me, it seems like a joke, this hearing. I feel like a lot of these people are really being let off. Some of them are being let off the hook. They're just going like for the main people that you see that were, like maybe in a room, or they were carrying something out, or, they were doing something with somebody's computer, or they were trying to change information or try to steal information. Like the one lady, they said they caught one lady who was trying to give information to the Russians. Or I don't know if she was trying to sell it or give it to them or what. But that would seem like a real serious offense. But I believe they want to put her in prison, incarcerate her. But some of the people that, there were some people that were killed. There was one lady, she was on the, she was involved in the insurrection, and the Secret Service shot her. And it was because she was at the door, but she was the only one that I noticed that they returned, well, I don't know if she had a gun, but it didn't look like she had a gun. I'm not sure if she did or she didn't, but she was killed. And I just feel like more people would have been killed if it was a lot of black people that were trying to break in, or trying to rush the security. It would have been. I think the punishment would have been a lot more severe than what these people are getting, and I feel like that's the reason why they're still threatening to do more harm. Um, and so, as you clearly see, they feel as though this group feels that they're able to get away with all of this, and they can do it again. Maybe worse. Maybe next time they will actually hurt somebody. And that's what they're basically threatening to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting death threats like every week, maybe every day. So having said that, I'm gonna let this go. But this doesn't seem like this is getting any better either. As it goes on, it just seems like it's worse. So I think maybe they're gonna cancel the meeting, possibly. Um, so it doesn't look like it's gonna get any better. That's what I'm saying. Before before it gets any better, it seems like it gets worse. But yeah, so as this militia group aims to blow up the Capitol building as Biden addresses joint Congress, and so his life is probably in danger. It just seems like, and this is still a pandemic. Technically, there's still a lot going on, um, and so this doesn't make anything better either. But having said this, I'm gonna let this video go. What do you think about this? This is my opinion. I don't think there will be too much hearings going on. If it had been like a sea of black votes, I just feel like they would have been a lot more harder, and the punishment would have been a lot more swift and severe. And there's no way we probably would not even have made it to the Capitol building if it was people that looked like us, that were black. I just feel like they would not have made it at all. At all. There would have been, the stories would have been all together. You're like, wow, look at all those people that died. That's what had happened. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna let this go. Bye.